Hello folks, it's a little after 8 Friday morning. I'm still seeing snow fall. We did get a nice little slug and thump of snow last night, especially in southern and western Maine, and that dropped 3 to 6 inches of wet snow for the most part. Now we're starting to get a little colder and it's a fluffier snow, so it's a little more manageable. Our temps have been dropping. We're down to 29 in Portland. As we go up the coastline, also below freezing, and Bangor, Waterville, Augusta, Freiburg, all in the 20s too. So this snow that we're getting now, it's a lighter consistency. It's not the heavy wet stuff. It's gonna be much more easy and much easier to push around. And there might be a little fluff factor to it as well. So we're still looking at some accumulation here. We're starting to see holes in some dry slots and dry patches here and there. But what's going on is some upper level energy is rolling over the state. So that'll keep these bursts of snow and these minor snow bands going through about lunchtime and even into the early afternoon. And things will start to wind down a little bit. I'll show you a timeline in a second. I do want to talk about snow amounts, what we've received so far. There's a good network that the National Weather Service kind of oversees, and they pass along snowfall reports when they get them. So I'm just going to kind of run right down the list, beginning with, these came in a little bit earlier this morning. I'll start at 4 a.m. for instance. So that at 4 a.m. there was an observation from Auburn. I gotta wear my readers for this because I can't see that. I'm too old now. 4 inches from Auburn, 5 inches East Baldwin. We go down the line here. What else we got? 6 inches in Cumberland. 6 inches, that's pretty good. Kennebunk had 4.5. Raymond 4. Now there was one observation out of Portland, and then a National Weather Service employee has a 6.7 inch amount, and that was from North Deering. A lot of what's going to happen here is it kind of depends on how you do your measuring, and that'll be the discrepancy in snowfall amounts. Like for instance, like when I take a snow amount, I just go out to the driveway where it's flat, and I just stick a ruler in there, and when the storm's over or halfway through or whatever, and it tells me how much we got. There's actually a specific way that the National Weather Service measures snow. I think they go out like every 3 hours, and they go to a piece of wood. They call it a snowboard, and there's a ruler connected to it, and they'll take a reading there, and then they'll wipe the snowboard clean. And 3 hours later, they'll go back out and see how much snow is accumulated on that wood surface. And then they'll add it all up together throughout the storm. That's the official way that the National Weather Service takes their snow amounts and gets their amounts. So if you think about it, if you go and wipe something clean, a few hours later, go back out, wipe it clean, you're not getting like as much compaction as you would if you went out at the end of the storm or halfway through the storm and got your reading. So, it's just a difference in the way you take the measurement. Like for me, I kind of just prefer like at the end of the storm or halfway through or whatever, and because it's just more representational, representative of what we actually have on the ground at that time. If you take it every 3 hours, yeah, you're getting measurements there, but there's compaction that goes on. So I don't know, it's kind of each to their own. Some people like to do it the NWS way. Some people like to do it just, the old school way of sticking a ruler on the top of the grill, and you find out what you got. A few others, let's see. South Portland, 5.9. Dover, New Hampshire, 5.8. I said that Portland one, where's this? This is Hope in Knox County, that's 4.5 inches. Farmington, 3 inches up in Franklin County. Shapley, 5.3. Bridgeton has 5. Brunswick, just about 6. Anywhere else of interest? Topsom, 5. These are all southern Maine. Lewiston, 5. Henniker, New Hampshire, 5.3. So now I'm going to go to the National Weather Service site in Caribou and see if they have some reports for us. There's definitely not as densely packed of a network up there. It's more rural in eastern and northern Maine than it is in southern and western Maine. So you don't have as many reports out of this area. But at 6 a.m. Plymouth had 2 inches. 8 a.m. So these are getting a little more recent, Machias 1.5, Orland 2.5. This report out of Brewer at 8, it was from 713, it was 1 inch. I think that's a little low in my opinion, but Roque Bluffs 2 inches, Otis 1.5, Southwest Harbor 2.3. And that was as of 7 o'clock this morning. So again, a little old, a little dated, and we're getting some pretty decent snow right now in eastern Maine. That's when we're getting most of our accumulation. So we're probably up closer to 3 inches at this point. So let's look at the timeline now through the evening. So this is through noon. And while it's still snowing in spots, it's not as uniform or consistent from town to town. It's more like a burst of snow, and then it gets really light. You probably have some tiny flakes, not much happening, and then you get another burst of snow. That's the upper level energy kind of swinging through. And as we go through the afternoon, watch what happens to those areas of snow. They kind of shrivel up. See that? And that's 5 o'clock right there. And it's just mainly cloudy with some flurries still hanging around. So I think after like 1, 2 o'clock, it's totally fine to go out there and clean, do the final cleaning. I'm sure you've already been out and you've done something to get yourself prepared. I want to look ahead a little bit because there's definitely more storms in our pipeline. The weekend looks awesome, and I highly recommend, I encourage you to go out and get some fresh air tomorrow. Get some breaths outside. Like, if you have an animal, if you have a dog, take the dog for a little hike in the woods. I promise you, you will not regret it. It is going to be so beautiful with this fresh snow and the sun shining too. If you don't, go to the beach. If you live near the water, go to the beach. The beach has got snow, and there will be snow all the way up to the high tide marker, to the high tide line, because, salt water will melt that and wash it out to sea and all that kind of stuff. But, some of the beaches will have snow on them. The dunes will have snow on them. It's going to be beautiful. So go get some fresh air tomorrow if you can. All right, let's look ahead to this next storm. I think this is the graphic I want to show you. So this one moves out. There's your sunny skies tomorrow. Sunday's quiet too. This next storm is coming out of the Appalachians, and it's going to come right up the coastline. So this one has more potential. Let's put it like that. It's not this clipper type system we're getting now. It's more of a nor'easter type system. It's not your true nor'easter where it hangs for an extended period of time. Not yet, at least. It's still somewhat progressive. The upper level energy isn't cutting off and grabbing and stalling the low over us. It's kind of keeping it moving. So we'll see how that plays out. I wouldn't be shocked if it cuts off a little sooner and slows everything down a little bit. But as it moves up into the northeast, again, just like the last couple of storms, it's encountering marginally cold enough air. And the track of this storm is going to be a little closer to us than this past one, the one that we're getting now. The track of this one's going to go up over Cape Cod and then into the Gulf of Maine. And that's close enough, boy, it's going to be razor thin, where we're going to have this rain-snow line flirting with the coastline. So it's going to be tight, but right now I do think we get rain along the coast, mixing with snow. I mean, we're getting some accumulation of snow even along the coastline, as long as it doesn't get any closer to us as of right now. But it's really the interior that stays all snow. So my initial thoughts, I made a graphic earlier this morning. My initial thoughts on Sunday night, Monday, that right there. The coastline is a rain-snow mix, and because of that, I don't see amounts, at least the chances for 6 inches or more are running pretty small right now. As you go inland, you're getting the same amount of moisture, you're just a little colder, that's all snow. Your chances for more than 6 inches are running pretty high right now. And then the farther away from the storm, all the way up along the Canadian border, obviously that's all snow, it's cold enough. But the moisture's a little more limited there. So it's all snow, but it's less than 6 inches of snow. I hope that's a good little reference for you, some guidance for you for what's going to happen here on Monday. Obviously it's not our true snow map. It's still a little early for that. I mean, this thing's been flipping and flopping all over the place. So what I suggest is that you keep checking back, keep checking our blogs on our website, watch our newscasts. Obviously we have a noon newscast, and then we're on the air again at 4 o'clock this evening. Over the weekend, Aaron and Jason got you covered with updated information too. But right now, if nothing changes, I think we're going to be running into a lot of school cancellations again on Monday morning, especially away from the coast, but probably along the coastline too. I mean, if nothing changes at all, I'd say we're looking at a 3 to 6 inch snowfall along the coast and a 6 to 10 inch snowfall inland, and then 3 to 6 up along the Canadian border. That's how I would draw it if I had to at this moment. But again, it's so far out, and it's been flipping around. It'd be kind of irresponsible to just make the map when it could easily swing in one direction in a big way or another direction in a big way. So that's the latest we got for you. Hopefully it's some guidance for you, and I don't know, enjoy your weekend. You know, that comes Sunday night, you know, while you're sleeping, and Monday while you're attempting to go to work and getting the kids to school. So like I said, enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch you again next time. Take care.